Hi, welcome to another video tutorial. Today, you will learn how to plot the support and resistance levels of a stock. You will also learn the definition of support and resistance. My name is JC De Guzman of Equalist Analytics. Let's get it started. But before that, I'd like to define first what a support level is and what a resistance level is. A support level, by classical definition, is a price level wherein the price could stop or could pause, the downtrend of the price could pause because traders tend to think that the price is already too cheap not to be bought again. Thereby, when the price stops or pauses, it forms a support line. Meanwhile, a resistance level is a price point or a price level or a range wherein the price could also pause its direction, moving to the northward direction because traders think that the price is already too high not to be sold. So when traders do their profit taking activity towards or near the resistance level, that price range forms a resistance level then. Okay. To better demonstrate that to you, I am going to show you how to plot the support and resistance levels of a stock using 10 stocks. We're going to use some of those stocks that are present inside our long-term investing watch list so you could relate. Okay? Now, before I am going to show you how to plot the support and resistance level, I would also like to mention the two things that could happen when the price draws closer or hits the support or resistance level of a stock. So how many possible things could happen? Two. Remember, two. The first thing that could happen when the price draws closer or kisses the support level is that first, it's either it will bounce away from that support level, meaning to say if it's currently moving to the southward direction when it hits the support level, it could register a bullish reversal. A bullish reversal means a change in direction from the southward going to the northward direction. So it bounces away from the support level. That's the first thing that could happen. What's the second thing that could happen? It's I it the support level, the second thing that could happen is the support level could be disrespected. What does it mean? When I say the support level could be disrespected, it means to say that traders think that the price is not yet too cheap, too inexpensive. It's not yet too inexpensive, so it could continue. It might continue its downward direction. Okay, so let's repeat that. What are the two things that could happen when the price is drawing closer or is about to kiss the support level? The first one is that the price could bounce away from the support level, and that means changing direction from going to the south, now going to the north. The second thing that could happen is the downtrend might continue. No? It might disrespect the support level, so it continues its downtrend. Now, is it the same thing? Is it the exact same possible reactions when the price draws closer to its resistance level? Yes, exactly. How is that? So when the price draws closer to its resistance level, meaning to the upward direction, the first thing that could happen is that the price could bounce away from that resistance level, meaning to say it will be a change in direction. Starting, it could a change in direction from a trend going to the northward direction. Now it's bouncing away from the northward, and now it's going to the southward direction. So that's the first thing that could happen. The second thing that could happen is just like with the scenario in the support level, the price can also violate the resistance level, meaning to say it will not respect the resistance level, and that means it might continue. It might continue its upward trend. It will cross above the resistance level. You will see these two scenarios as I show you how to plot the support and resistance levels of a stock. Okay? So by now I do hope you already know what a support and resistance level is, or what a support and resistance levels are. And also by now I do hope you already know the two possible scenarios that could happen if and when the price draws closer to its support or resistance level. Okay, now it's about time to show you how do I plot the support and resistance levels of a stock. Okay, let's take a look at Ayala Corporation. I have cleared my support and resistance levels so I can show it to you from a clean slate. How do I plot the support and resistance levels? Where do I plot the support? Where do I plot the resistance? So I'm using the trading view from the First Metro Securities Pro, from my First Metro Securities Pro account. So I am using this horizontal line here. So I'm going to click horizontal line, then you can customize the color up here, the color of the line, as well as the thickness of the line. So I'm using this thickness number 2, and then black, the color black for the color of the line. So in the case of Ayala Corporation, I'm going to plot my major support somewhere here. And then to plot the resistance, I will have to click that horizontal line again. Since it's already pre-selected a few minutes ago or a few seconds ago, I'll just have to click this one. And then I'm going to plot my resistance level somewhere here. Let's do that again. Okay, there you go. So the major support the major support of Ayala Corporation is somewhere near 874.74, or to round it off, it's somewhere near 875 pesos. Now its resistance level is somewhere near 1018 pesos, or to round it up, it's somewhere near 1019 pesos a piece or per share. Now I'd like to mention something here because a few years ago, or almost every now and then, I get some questions like, "Sir, why do our support and resistance levels do not match in terms of the exact price?" Okay, here's the thing. When we talk about the support and resistance levels, we're not talking about the precise points. We're not talking about the precise numbers in terms of peso and centavos. We're talking about a range, okay? A certain level. We're not talking about a specific uh, value. We're not talking about a literal value. We're talking about a range, okay? So it's either when you plot your own support, when you plot your own support, it's either you would plot it somewhere near, somewhere here, so that changes the value then. But again, we're only trying to get the range, the specific level, an estimated level, okay, not a precise price point, okay? So if your support level is at 874 pesos exactly without the 74 centavos, then don't worry, you did not do anything wrong. Okay, it's just a matter of 74 centavos. Or if you got 876, so let's see, where is that 807? Somewhere there. It's okay as well. Okay, it's not a terrible mistake. Again, we're just talking about an estimated level, a zone, or a range. We're not talking about a specific price point here. Okay, I hope that clears that frequently asked question. Now, um, how does it happen? For example, here, let's talk about the two scenarios that could happen when a price hits a support or resistance. Okay, here, let's backtrack here. Let's backtrack here. Okay, here, take a look at this resistance level here. This was somewhere October 19, 2017. In October 19, 2017, Ayala Corporation hits an all-time high of 116 pesos and 116 pesos, 1,116 pesos rather. So Remember, there are two things that could happen. It's either it will bounce away from the resistance level or it will continue its trend. We're talking about resistance here. So which scenario happened here? Last October 7. Which scenario happened? The first one or the second one? The first one is it will bounce away. The second one is it will continue its trend. So obviously, it chose the first scenario. It bounced away. It bounced away from 1116 resistance level. It bounced away all the way to this level. How much was that? 1010. 1010 pesos a piece. Okay? Then it recovers. So from here, during that time, no, sometime in October 24, 2017, of course, during that time, let me use this one so I could. Of course, during that time, in October 2017, you still don't see these graphs, right? Back in October 17, 2017. Of course, you wouldn't. These graphs here did not exist yet during that time. Of course, okay. Now that will that will then make you believe during that time that will make you believe in last October 17 that or October 24 that the support was somewhere here during that time. Where was the support then? Somewhere near 1010 pesos a piece. Okay. Now we're now talking about support level. Again, what are the two things that could happen? It's either the first one, it's either it will bounce away or it will continue its direction. So during that time, October 24, 2017, the support level was near 1010 pesos per share. What happened then? Did it bounce away from the support level or it continued its trend? Well, obviously, as we can see, it did not continue its trend. It bounced away from 1110 pesos. It bounced away, right? So so what I'm doing now is that I'm showing you on this chart those two scenarios in action. Okay, those two scenarios in action. Um, in this particular resistance last October 17 and the support that was registered last October 24, we saw, we see now, or we witnessed during those days that the support and the resistance levels respected those respective levels, the resistance and support. They did not continue the trend. Okay, now I'm going to show you a fulfillment of scenario number two. And what is that? It will continue its trend. It will disrespect either the support or the resistance level. It will continue its trend, whether it's a downward or an uptrend direction. So let's take a look. Now I'm going to remove this square so it does not black the other charts. Okay, now let me check here. Okay, so last October 24, I plotted my support level near 1,110 pesos per share. And then Ayala Corporation from, during that month of October in 2017 until March 2018, we can say that it just played the range. It just traded the range. What range? 1,100 or 1,984 all the way to 1,115. So it just traded that range, from that in that particular period, okay, from October 2017 all the way to March 2018. So it just traded that particular range. Now I'm going to show you an example of a scenario wherein the stock violates or disrespects its support level here. So last March 15, 2018, Ayala Corporation disrespected the support level near 1,110. How did I say so? Because it did not bounce away from the support level. Instead, it continued its downward direction. And since it continued its downward direction, it registered or it printed a new support level somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here. we would say somewhere here. We still can say that support level back then would be at 874 here. No, why? Why can't we not say that? Because during those days, of course, we still do not see these graphs because those days didn't happen yet during that time, of course, right? Okay, I just want to emphasize that it could be obvious for some of you who have been trading for a while, but for the beginners, sometimes the obvious ones need to be still mentioned. Okay, still need to be mentioned. Okay, we all have to start somewhere. Okay, okay, now this was the new support level that was registered when Ayala Corporation violated the support near 1,110 pesos per share. So where was the new support level back then? It was somewhere near 903 pesos, 900 to 903 pesos per share. Okay, and then after registering that new support, here's another scenario. Scenario number one, it respected that new support level. So it bounced back and forth to that support level. Okay, and then it registered another resistance here. And then it somewhere in June 21, 2018, it violated the newly registered support near 903 pesos and it registered a new support near 874. This one. Okay, this one. And then it tried to bounce away from that new support level. So it tried to breach or break out from this resistance from the new resistance that was registered at 994. So this is scenario number 2 now. It disrespected the support by continuing its upward trend. Thereby, it registered a new resistance level somewhere near 1018 here on top. Okay, then it bounced away again. It bounced away. So from then on, the support at 874 pesos here, this line, has been respected all the way to the present date. Okay, so that's why our current support level is at 874 pesos or 875. You're going to round it up, I mean. And then the resistance is still pegged at 118 or 117 pesos per share. Okay, so let's remove now the other horizontal lines. Okay, there you go. So here's a clean version of Ayala Corporation's chart with its major support and resistance levels. Again, our major support sits at 875 apiece, while the resistance level is at 1,019 pesos per share, which is a precursor to the next resistance positioned near 1,115 pesos per share here on top. Okay. Okay. Now you've seen those two possible scenarios. Every time the price draws closer or hits its support or resistance levels, you've seen that live in action, right? So remember that. Okay, now let's take a look at another chart for demonstration purposes. Let's plot its support and resistance levels. Ayala Land Incorporated. So let me remove these lines so that we can plot them from scratch. Okay, all right. Now, where do you think we should plot the support here as well as the resistance level? Okay, here I'm going to plot the support here first. Here's the major support and the major resistance is over here. Again, the support is at 36.32 and the resistance is, if you notice by the way, when I'm plotting the chart, the horizontal line, I'm no longer checking the precise point. I'm no longer checking the intraday high or the closing price of that highest level of that candlestick. Again, I'm not after the precise point here. I'm only taking a look at the range or the zone where the support or resistance level is. Okay? So again, there you go. The support for Ali is at 36.32 while the resistance is at 47.52 pesos per share. Now there is a midterm. I call it a midterm support or midterm resistance. Okay? There's a midterm support here at 44.8. Okay. So right now we can see that Ayala Land has been trying to pierce that midterm resistance pegged at 44.80 for a while now. So it seems it seems that this 44.8 level is still being perceived as an expensive price for the Ayala Land Incorporated traders. It seems that they treat this as a profit-taking level. So in other words, unless and until someone buys above this level at a very significant degree or amount, then we will continue seeing Ayala Land just making attempts to pierce or to break out above 44.81. Okay, but again, unless and until someone is willing to buy a significant amount above 44.8, then we can expect nothing but a series of attempts to, series of attempts to break out, series of unsuccessful attempts to break out above 44.80. Okay, how about the midterm support? Is there one? What do you think? Of course, I see one. It's somewhere here. So every time, okay, now this is what I call a precursor, meaning to say before Ayala Land, before before I would say with conviction that Ayala Land is about to kiss the support at 36.32, Ayala Land must first break down below 39.72. So this is the midterm support level. So we have the major support, major resistance here, midterm support, and then the midterm resistance here. So these midterm support and resistance levels are precursors to their major support and resistance levels. Okay? So this is how you plot the support and resistance levels for Ayala Land. So let's try another stock, BDO. Okay, let's remove these lines again. There are pre-plotted support resistance levels here. They are not automatic, by the way, but we've seen them right now because I already plotted the support and resistance levels a long time ago because I've been monitoring these stocks. You know that because these are parts of our long-term investing watch list. Going back, so let's plot now the support first of the BDO. Major support is somewhere here, and the major resistance is where do you think we should put here? Put it somewhere here, okay? But that's too far-fetched relative to where BDO is right now. This 165.47 is too far-fetched um, compared to the price point where BDO is at the moment. It's still at 133.60. So I'm also going to plot my resistance level here. Isn't it obvious that there were several attempts to break out above this level, but those attempts were unsuccessful? They tried to no avail. Okay, so they bounced away. They just bounced away here. Obviously, they bounced away from 141 or 140.85, right? And I can also plot the midterm support somewhere here. And if I would like to make it more recent, it could be somewhere here. Okay, near the intersection between my 10 SMA and 50 SMA. Okay, so again, I just want to segue this one for those who are asking what SMA periods am I using. I'm using, you can see here, 10, 50, and 200. For some obvious reasons, you should already by now why I'm using the 10 SMA and not 20. Okay, it is to partner with my MACD. So I have this 10 SMA and MACD combo. Okay, but that's another topic. Okay, I don't want to pollute this video that's specific to support and resistance. Maybe we can discuss that later. Okay, so there you go. I can plot my midterm support somewhere here or over here. I'm going to adjust it somewhere, but I prefer to put it somewhere here, somewhere in 123.36 or 124 or 123 to round it down. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, for the midterms, for the support and resistance levels of BDO. What else? So we have Cebu Pacific. Okay, let's delete these lines as well. Okay, so we can plot the support and resistance levels from scratch. Okay, where do you think I should put my support level here? The major support, major support. Well, obviously somewhere here. And apparently, Cebu Pacific seemed to have found its psychological bottom or psychological resistance at 61.50 pesos per share sometime in November 13, 2018. I think I mentioned that already in one of my posts in our private clients forum. Going back, where should I put my resistance level here? Should be somewhere. Where do you think should I plot it? Well, I can plot it here. This is now the most, this is the latest. This is the current resistance level. It's at 91.34. Obviously, there were how many attempts to break out above that line? There were four attempts. Very close, four very close attempts to no avail. They all failed. Okay? Because traders think that Cebu Pacific was already too cheap, too expensive not to be sold, not to do a profit-taking activity somewhere near this price level. Okay? And then in November 23rd, November 13, in November second week of November 2018, traders thought thought that Cebu Pacific was already too cheap not to be bought again, so it reversed its trend from the from the southward. Now it's going to the northward direction, and then when it bounced, and then when it hit its resistance at 91.34 centavos, 91 pesos and 34 centavos, it bounced away because traders again think that it was already too expensive not to be sold. Okay, midterm, there's also a midterm support here. Okay, by the way, one thing, when when a previous when a previous when a previous resistance level is broken, for example here, before before November before the second week of November last year, of course, again, these charts here still did not exist. Of course, those days did not happen yet during that time. So, knowing that we only see these candlesticks to the left side of this yellow box, where do you think we should put our resistance? Of course, at 77.05, this one here. Okay, the 77.05. That was the old resistance level back then. When when the current resistance level is broken up, or it's broken down, when it's broken, meaning to say the price continued its trend to the upward direction, that resistance level becomes a support level. Okay, this is where I'm trying to drive the discussion. Okay, I would like to send across the message that when when the current resistance level is broken, is disrespected, is violated, that resistance level becomes the new support level of the stock. Okay? I hope you get that. So this 77 pesos per share is now, it was a resistance. Now it's now a midterm support for Cebu Pacific. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope you get that. What's next after Cebu Pacific? Okay, let's try DNL. Okay, so where do you think I should plot the support of DNL? Okay, major support is somewhere near 9.68. Resistance is somewhere. Where should I put it? Okay, the most recent one being is 11.90. Okay, it's only a range again, huh? It is only a range, not the precise absolute number. Okay. Now, do we see any midterm support or resistance level here? Do you see one, two, maybe three? What do you see? Of course, before before sometime in November 2018, November last year, the resistance back then was at 11.40. Okay, and then it bounced away from 11.40, from that old resistance level. It bounced away towards the major support at 9.68, but apparently it did not draw closer that much to 9.68. Apparently it registered a seemingly new support level at 10.06. Okay, this one at 10.06. So after hitting 10.06, it bounced away again from 10.06, but it did not. It did not. It was unsuccessful in terms of drawing much closer to the resistance near 11.40 back then. It was not even. It did not even cross the median of those two price levels. So again, it bounced away, made an attempt to break down uh, to break below 10.06, but apparently this 10.06 proved to be a strong support level, so it bounced away again from 10.06, made an attempt to pierce or to break out above 11.40, again the old resistance level. This time around, the scenario number 2 happened, and what was scenario number 2? It will disrespect that level and it will continue its trend. So it continued its trend above 11.40, and then that's it. You can see on the chart what happened. All right. So there you go. That's the story. Okay, last one, last stock. Let's take a look at JFC. Okay, let me remove this Fibonacci. Some other time I'm going to discuss this with you. I don't want to discuss it right now because it could remove your focus from what we're currently discussing. So now, where should we put the support level of Jollibee Foods Corporation? Of course, its major support is already too deep at 243 pesos or 242.85 centavos. And its resistance is obviously somewhere here. It's the most recent one. Okay, somewhere near 325 pesos and 35 centavos. Do we see any midterm support or resistance level? Of course. Here, 292.65. Of course, during that month, what month was that? August 28. Some before in the last week of August 2018. Of course, during that month, well, obviously again, we still do not see these charts. They did not happen yet. This was the future back then. So this 292.65 was the resistance level. So it bounced away. Scenario number 1. It bounced away and then it tested the support at 244 or 242.85. Then scenario number 1 again, it bounced away. Now, let's remove the yellow line. After bouncing away, it tested the resistance level at 292.65. And scenario number 2 happened. It continued its trend. It did not bounce away. And then it registered this previous resistance is now the new support, 291 or 292.65. And then it registered a new resistance level at 325.35. Alright, so that's how you plot the support and resistance levels of a stock. Okay, so remember, a support is a price level whereby the price the downtrend may pause because traders think that the price is already too cheap not to be bought again. Okay, and a resistance level is a price point or a price zone whereby the price may whereby the scenario may invite selling because traders think that the price is already too high not to be sold. Okay, and then the two scenarios that could happen every time the price hits or draws closer to the support or resistance levels. The first scenario is that it could bounce away from that support or resistance level, or it will continue its direction. Either or, can be both. Okay, either or. It's either it will bounce away or it will continue its direction. Okay, so you've learned all these things in this video tutorial. So I do hope by now, by using your charting software, you now know how to plot the support and resistance levels of a stock. Okay. Some other traders, just a few trivia before I end this video. Some traders use support and resistance levels for when it comes to making a decision for their entry price or selling price, buying price or selling price. We just have a different approach here. We don't use support and resistance levels as our uh, price levels where we want to buy. We want to buy. We consider the VWAP as a candidate for a buying price. We consider the top five most voluminous, and most traded prices. We also consider the top 10 players buying average. We have our own methodology here. That doesn't mean though that using the support level as a candidate for a buying price is a wrong idea. It doesn't. I did not say that. It's just that based on my testing, I find my own methodology. I find it to have a more winning rate when I back tested here by when I back tested it, and I've grown more comfortable with my methodology. That's why. Okay, and then for a selling price, some traders treat as a resistance level as a selling price, as a candidate for their selling zone or selling price. Okay, we do it differently here at Equalist Analytics. What's our basis for selling? Well, as always, TSL. What is a TSL? Trailing stop loss. I do not put a specific column in our two watch lists for the value of the TSL because each one of us has his or her own percentage of risk tolerance. I could have 10% risk, you could have 5%, the other guy to the right could have 7%, and the one to the left could have 4%. So we have to compute our own TSL, and there's a newsletter on the newsletters tab or section on your account where I explained with examples, plural, with examples, how to calculate your trailing stop loss. Okay? So I just showed you now the support and resistance level, how to plot it, what does it mean, what are the two possible scenarios that could happen as a learning material for you to supplement what you know, what I'm teaching you as far as our own methodology, framework, or universe, if you'd like to call that, so to say. Okay? Okay, so again, if you have questions, feel free to ask in our private clients forum, not on Facebook, not via email, not somewhere else, but just in our private clients forum so that I can give you all the details I know about your question. Okay? The private clients forum is room, the only the only platform where we can discuss, where I discuss in detail. Okay? Thank you. And again, my name is JC De Guzman of Equalist Analytics. Have a good day.